So the original question was, how do I figure out what to design? I'm going to take this a little bit of a different route. So in the industry, in any brand that I work for, would work for, consult for, or whatever, you know, there's typically a line sheet. So this is produced by, depending on the hierarchy of the company, the brand manager. It could be the sales manager. If there's someone above, like a design director or a chief creative officer, they might furnish what is the line sheet, and the line sheet dictates what is going to be made by the actual design department or the art department. So it might say, you know, and it's broken up in different ways too. So it might say total, like for example, 10 wovens, 8 new denim styles. It might be, you know, 8 jackets. Now all of this depends on the season, how many deliveries there are, and so on. So just to give you a quick vantage point, back when I was working at Ezekiel, now you have to remember this was in 2005. So this was quite a while ago, and the economy was still very healthy. People were spending, and so the industry was a lot bigger than it is now. And at the time, I believe we were right at $30 million that company was doing on an annual basis. So we had a huge amount of SKUs, over 100 definitely each season. We were just going at it, and the way that we organized our deliveries or our offering to retail was via category. And I think that makes sense because we were a big company and we were offering product to a lot of different people. Pants, non-denim bottoms was a category, shorts is a category, denim is a category, knits, wovens, hats, and then accessories like wallets, belts, backpacks is all separate categories. We basically designed a ton of SKUs together, and then we would come back and make sure that they were styled into outfits so that everything merchandised really well. At Arisu, where I was just the creative director of, we would put together outfits, and so the DNA of each grouping was already chosen. So more like the style was chosen first, and sort of what we're aiming towards, either a look or a theme, might be binded together with a colorway, and then the outfit is created. So it might be, let's say it's just twill bottoms, and then there might be a pairing with the twill short as well, a short version of the pant, and then we'll go woven and or polo, and then a sweater or a jacket. So then that would be 5 items, 5 to 6 items, give or take. And so all those things would be interchangeable. So we would end up producing, I would say, 7 to 8 outfits, and everything would get edited down and kind of switched around, colorways, and then those would be broken up into deliveries. We would have two deliveries for spring and fall, which are your major deliveries. Now, long answer, that's more for people who want to get into more seasoned companies. Also, that's a bit of a blueprint for the smaller companies that want to look at how companies that are ahead of them are doing it. Now, for my guys that are watching designer advice, typically are a startup, so I always say start off with t-shirts. So what I want to say to you is, I did a video on this and I'm going to put the link to it below right now, but start with less product than you think you need. Or if you design, for example, let's say you come out with 15 designs and you think they're all bangers, they're all heaters. That's great that you think that, but I definitely wouldn't start off overwhelming people with 15 graphics. Now, that depends, I mean, on a couple things. Say if you're offering 15 on your web store, that's fine, but as a release, if you're going to sell wholesale, you need to show styles, you know, seasonally. Or, as I said, in capsules. I did a video on this. I'll put a link to that below as well, because people are starting to kind of do one-off capsules. You can do that, but I wouldn't release it on my web, have it be sitting there, and then try to reintroduce it into a group. You want to let everything go in coordinated blasts, so to speak. And so, you know, what's the right thing for you to start with? It depends. Again, it's one of those things where I gotta take it with a case-by-case basis, but I definitely want to make a video about it. So don't overproduce. Watch that video, please. If you're green, I would start with t-shirts, definitely. Make sure people like the direction you're going in. Also, it kind of gets you through the paces of feeling how deliveries are going to work, moving product, shipping it out, making sure you have all of your operational things kind of set up and constantly improving that. before you start getting into heavier stuff. But I would definitely add some sort of accessory though for a first offering. I'd like to see some t-shirts, some hats. That's also pretty easy to do. But I would offer that and make sure you get your looks together. If you dabble with cut and sew, again, it depends. It depends. Like, there's some people where I would say go for it. Do a button-down shirt, or do whatever you want. If you want to do a jacket, do a jacket to pair with t-shirts and hats. I think it needs to be concise. So I think whatever you start with, say you start off with 10 items, I would bring it down to 6 or 7, maybe 7, but I bring it down to 6, and make sure you offer something really tight, something that you're able to test and control and sell out of it. Sell the hell out of it. People sometimes ask me questions that are way past where they're at. And sometimes what I say to them is sell $50,000 worth of product. Sell $100,000 in product. At least you know at that point that you have something viable in terms of a business and probably a sustaining brand. And if not, there's definitely characteristics in there that's probably in you or in your team that got you to sell 100,000. So that's when you really start to play ball. If you could sell 30,000, 50,000, you know, we're really looking at something. In terms of what you should offer for your first line, or AKA what should your line sheet look like? That's my answer. I mean, boil it down to maybe 5, 6 items, maybe 7 items that you think are super bangers. Test, see how that does, so you don't end up with a garage full of t-shirts and or whatever else you make. Hope that helps. Anything to add to the conversation? Any video links? Any other things you want to hear more about? Please drop it below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.